Welcome back to the chat. Our next guest, she is half a world away, but that hasn't stopped her from taking a stand against something happening right here in North Florida that she feels is unjust. The former Nice High School graduate created a petition on change.org calling for an end to discrimination against trans and LGBTQ students after learning about a lawsuit filed by a transgender student who was prohibited from using the men's restroom at Nice High. She's joining us live via Skype all the way from, get this, she's in Brazil to discuss this topic. We welcome Ariel Koren. Thank you for joining us, Ariel. How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
We are great. We are so happy to talk to you. First thing I want to ask you is, how did you hear about Drew Adams' situation, the transgender student who is bringing this lawsuit against the St. Johns County School District?
Yeah, I was just reading the news. Honestly, I was reading the news and I came across a piece about a trans student who had been discriminated against at the hands of his high school teachers, fellow students, and administration. And unfortunately, this is a really common story, and we're seeing a lot of trans students who are under attack right now. And so I read this story and unfortunately was sad but not fazed. But then I saw that the story was coming from my high school, Nice High School, the school that I graduated from, and felt really disappointed.
So because he came from Nice High School, is that what really spurred you on, that you wanted to get involved?
Excuse me?
Because he came from your school, he goes to Nice High School where you went to school. Is that what really motivated you, that you felt you had to do something?
Definitely. I mean, you know, trans issues and all issues that affect any marginalized community should make all of us really upset and feel galvanized to take action. But I definitely felt a particular responsibility here because I'm an openly queer graduate of Nice High School. And, you know, I wasn't out when I was in high school, in large part because of the fact that it's a difficult culture to be openly queer within. And so when I saw a student who is brave and out and speaking out against issues that affect his community, I felt that this student needs to know that they have a lot of support from LGBT alumni and from a whole army of allies.
Well, so it sounds like you're very passionate about this, Ariel. Is that because maybe you've actually personally experienced any discrimination, maybe at Nice or outside of there?
Again, I wasn't out at Nice, but a lot of the reason for that is because it was so hard to be an openly queer person, particularly an openly queer girl or woman or an openly trans person at Nice High School because of the pervasive negative stereotypes, negative language, hateful language that exist at Nice High School. And so I didn't experience direct discrimination, but rather a lot of internal struggle because I was surrounded by other students who were discriminated against. And I felt really proud to see that Drew is not only out, but leading efforts to empower LGBT students at Nice and is standing up against an issue that's affecting not only him, but the entire LGBT community at Nice High School and nationally. And so I felt like, you know, Drew and every single LGBT student needs to know that they're not alone, that it does get better, and that they have an entire group of really passionate LGBT people and allies who are supporting them.
Ariel, first of all, I want to say you're absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
And, you know, for those people that may not be, you know, aware, I've heard you mention the word queer a few times. Can you please explain the definition, your definition of queer?
Yes. So queer is basically the umbrella term that unites all of the identities that kind of fit within the LGBTQ, et cetera, bucket. So lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, queer. It's kind of an umbrella that unites the entire community. And it's a way of identifying without saying, okay, well, I'm going to tell you exactly what label describes me. It's more just like, you know, I don't fall within the heterosexual norm.
So tell us about the petition. The petition on change.org, you're asking to get rid of, to end the discrimination at Nice High School. So specifically, what are you asking for?
Yeah, well, the petition has two goals. One, to really send a message to Drew and every other LGBT student that they're not alone and that they're supported and that they have a group of LGBT alumni who are powerfully standing up against any discrimination that they experience. We want to tell them that we are not having this. And then the second goal is that we're demanding that the superintendent and folks from his office, in addition to the principal of Nice and folks from her office, that they, publicly apologize for a track record of discriminatory behavior, and that they take actions to rectify and reverse this track record by making sure that A, all students have the right to go to whatever bathroom they identify with, but B, that no discrimination against any marginalized community occurs at Nice High School.
And I like that you've graduated from Nice and now you're a product marketer with Google for Education. And so you're a member of a group called Lesbians Who Tech. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And is that just within Google or is that like worldwide?
Yeah, Lesbians Who Tech, it's a global community. It's a really cool community. Actually started in San Francisco, but now has a really awesome global base. And it's basically people who identify as queer women, so women who fall within the LGBTQ spectrum, who also work in tech, because women are so underrepresented in tech. And then when you look at queer women, you have an even smaller, more underrepresented subset. And it's a group of women who get together to empower each other, to talk about each other's issues, and to really make plans about how we can leverage our place in the technology industry to make life better for people who are in our community and then also other marginalized communities as well.
Ariel, you really are a world away. I mean, you're in Brazil, and you are you put this petition up to do something here in Jacksonville. Do you still have friends and family here that you are in touch with so that you feel like being a world away, you can get some support? You are getting support here locally for what you're trying to do?
Well, first of all, anyone who's watching this, please sign the petition, because we don't have enough support. So we can use more. Do support us, definitely. You can Google end discrimination against LGBT students in St. Johns County, and it's a change.org petition. In terms of whether or not I have support, I do have family that still lives in the area, and I have great friends who are doing really awesome things in the area. So to answer your question, I'm lucky that there are a lot of people who support this cause, which I think is an important message that we want to send, that there are people associated with Jacksonville and with Northeast Florida in general who do really take issue with discrimination and who support LGBTQ rights.
Well, you know what? You are a great example that no matter where you are in the world, you can affect change, even across continents, because that is what you're doing. So thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. And if you want to sign that petition again, you can find it at change.org. Use the phrase St. Johns County. Ariel Koren, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Great to talk with you today.
Thank you.
All right, so what happens next? Coming after the break, we're going to talk with our legal contributor, Seth Pagic, about what actions could come from this lawsuit. We'll be right back.